Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. It's daily news time once again, and the links broke last night that Liverpool are interested in Moses Simon. No idea. I'm not up on me Genk superstars, to be honest with you. Genk superstars. 10 million rated Nigerian international Ian Doyle of the Liverpool Echo is reporting this one. Liverpool eyeing a move for Nigerian international winger Moses Simon. He's not going to the World Cup though, actually. So if we were to buy him, we were to get him through the door over the next week or so. He'd join us on the first day of pre-season, which is good. The reason he's not going after playing in the qualifying for Nigeria is actually that he's injured, and the Nigerian bosses decided he didn't want to take the chance with him. So if we do sign him, absolutely sound. I know absolutely nothing about him other than he's 22 years old and he played for Ghent. That's pretty much it, to be honest with you. I think, I was speaking to Steor, who tends to know a lot of players from all around the world. He didn't have a clue who he was. Subsequent searches on YouTube have led me to believe that he's fucking rapid. He's very, very direct by the looks of things as well. He normally plays in one of the front three roles, maybe from the left-hand side where he seems to be most suited, where he can cut in and play the ball with his right foot. He can play on the right-hand side, and there are rumours that he can play up top as well, although I've not seen any of that in any of the highlights that I watched about him. This is Anfield actually did a really interesting piece on him that explained it a little bit better. His middle name's Daddy, so his name is Simon Daddy Moses. I'm not sure I'm in on this as a name. I think, as a 1-year-old you shouldn't be called Daddy. That's just weird. He's got 21 caps though so far for Nigeria, played in the majority of the World Cup qualifiers as I mentioned earlier on, and he netted 6 goals in 29 league games this term, a tally perhaps lowered by missing 2 months through injury around the turn of the year. So there you go, that's what This Is Anfield said, and I can see some of the comments already, to be honest with you, and one of the comments before we started was, what does this mean for Harry Wilson? And I don't know what it means for Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson's a guy that I wanted to see break into this Liverpool side, but Klopp's been there a few years now. Klopp's obviously seen Harry Wilson. He's obviously been out on loan a couple of times as well, and he had a good loan spell last season. It probably means the end of Harry Wilson at Liverpool, and that might make me a little bit sad because I thought I saw something in him. But if Jurgen Klopp's decided, who knows him much better than us Liverpool fans, that he's actually not the guy that we need to back up these places, then we'll go and sign somebody who potentially is. Now, the reason he's going to be available for around about the 10 million mark is he's actually only got 1 year left on his contract, so his price will be a lot cheaper because of that. Obviously, Ghent won't want him to go for free at the end of next season, so 10 million is looking like a bit of a steal. And I think back to when Jurgen Klopp joined Liverpool Football Club, and we were doing our research into him. We knew a lot about Jurgen Klopp as Liverpool fans anyway, because a lot of Liverpool fans do watch the Bundesliga, and seeing Klopp's side in the Champions League and winning the Bundesliga a couple of years on the bounce back in the day and stuff. And one of those things that I loved about Jurgen Klopp is that he doesn't mind taking a chance on somebody that he doesn't know. And this could be one of those situations, couldn't it, where Moses Daddy Simon, to give him his full name, is one of those guys who Klopp sees something in, and who Michael Edwards sees something in, and his team, and have decided that, this is a guy that Liverpool should be bringing in, because we don't know exactly what we're going to get from him, but we believe that he's going to be a very, very good player, and it looks like Liverpool are about to make a bid for him as well, which is exciting. Could be our second player through the door, and it could be within a couple of weeks of losing the Champions League final, which would be mental, wouldn't it? And I think, the other thing with Moses Simon is that he's young, he can improve, and I would like to see those type of players. The speed is so important to the way that Liverpool play, and this lad's got speed. But there'll be people out there that do watch Belgian football. Let me know if you're one of those people in the comments section, what you think of him, whether you think he'd be a good addition to this Liverpool side. I'm happy to put my trust in Jurgen Klopp. I think we all should, and I think we should all put our trust in this transfer committee, because they've been bossed, to be fair. Tancredi Palmieri has actually said that Liverpool bid for Alison earlier on in the year, £44 million we were supposed to have bid back in January, February time, which was rejected by Roma out of hand. So he's obviously the Italian transfer expert. This is from the Express. Serie A Giants said they're holding out for 61 million. We bid 44 million. So this long-standing interest that we have, there was concrete evidence apparently of us making a bid for Alison. Whether we'll go up to what Roma want, which is probably closer to the 80 million mark now, who knows. But Liverpool are good in the transfer market. We're good at, driving those fees down. Will Alison come through the door? Let's hope so, or let's hope somebody does anyway. Liverpool, another one we've been linked with today. Liverpool to rival Arsenal in bid for highly rated Turkish defender Kaglar Soyuncu. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it goes back to my point earlier, which is Klopp wants him. Get him. That's all I want. If Klopp wants a fucking new pram, get him a new pram. I don't care. If Klopp wants toys, get him toys. Get Klopp whatever he wants, because that man's a legend and that man knows what's best for Liverpool Football Club. So let's read a little bit of the article then. We're ready to rival Arsenal for up-and-coming defender Kaglar Soyuncu. Apologies if I've just butchered his name. Centre-back is currently away with the Turkish national team, but speaking to the Turkish media, he stated that his future will be sorted out once he returns to Germany. According to Turkish-football.com, Liverpool last night scouted the centre-half as Turkey played out a 1-1 draw with World Cup host Russia. Soyuncu was at fault for the Russian goal, giving away possession on the edge of his own box. Sounds like he'd fit in, doesn't it? Hey? Okay. Let's move on. I know nothing about him either. Player I do know a little bit about though, Jasper Cillessen. Obviously the Barcelona backup goalkeeper, hasn't played a lot this season. He's been speaking out on his future. He's the Dutch number one goalkeeper. He's obviously Barcelona's backup keeper. Struggled to displace Mark ter Stegen at the Nou Camp. Cillessen is busy linking himself to both Liverpool and Arsenal, saying, I need to wait patiently. The only thing I know is that Barcelona won't sell me. Arsenal and Liverpool aren't bad clubs, but if Barcelona say we love you, then I'll accept their decision and continue here. Well, that's certainly a come and get me plea if ever I've heard one, isn't it? Let's be honest. Arsenal and Liverpool aren't bad clubs. We got further in the fucking Champions League than you did last season, sunshine. I can't imagine that the Liverpool staff will be enthused by those comments. They're not bad clubs. We're fucking great clubs, mate. And on to some deadly serious news now, before we get into some of the comments. After a couple more news stories, governments are to review safe standing in the top 2 tiers of English football. So, this has come around really. I think it was Tracy Crouch, back in, I think it was April time when West Brom asked for a trial of safe standing, said they just flat out refused it. We're not going to talk about it in the House of Parliament. A petition was done, hundreds of thousands of people signed this petition, and now Tracy Crouch came out yesterday and said, there were no plans to change the all-seater policy at stadiums, but that has changed. Over 100,000 people signed the petition. Crouch is understood to be keen to discuss safety at stadiums and the impact of improved technologies in stadium design. Safety of supporters is paramount, she said. However, we recognise that technology in stadium design has evolved since the all-seater stadium policy was introduced, and the time is right to look at the issue. So there we go. I think I found a really, really great article on The Guardian, and I'll just get you, it's David Conn in the article, in The Guardian, and I just wanted to read this for you. The immediate prompt is that Crouch must state her view in parliamentary debate on the 25th of June, forced by a petition began after her April remarks, which asked the government to allow Premier League and Championship football clubs to introduce safe standing. At the time of writing, 120,000 people have signed the petition, so it looks like there's a little bit of a groundswell here. It looks like a lot of people want to talk about safe standing in the top 2 tiers of English football. I personally haven't done a lot of research and spoken to Jay McKenna and Spirited Shankly and been to their rail seating meetings and debates. I would certainly be open to to listening to more about that. I think, it's been proved around European football. Obviously, Celtic have got it, Hoffenheim have got it, that, rail seating is much safer than standing in an all-seater stadium. And I, for one, welcome the debate, and I'm looking forward to hearing more news upon that over the coming days, weeks and months. But it will be a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. First debate will be 25th of June, so keep your eyes peeled. Not too long until that now. Wanted some good news in here as well, because we've talked about players that I don't know. Mo Salah talking about Liverpool and Liverpool fans. This is an absolute belter. I'm going to go first of all and find you a little bit. Salah was thrilled and often surprised by the enthusiasm of the people who adore him, and he takes the affection in stride. Liverpool fans serenade him often in song. They make a new one every week, he said. Get on this. He watches the fan chants on YouTube. trying to keep up and engage with his followers on social media. So there you go. But the best thing that he said, and this is all from a Bleacher Report, and it's a really wide-ranging interview about Egypt, a little bit about Liverpool and the World Cup and his status in world football and in the global game at the moment. He feels an obligation to the people who support him. And I quote, "Honestly, when I came here, I said I wanted to win a cup for this team. I wanted to do it for the city, for the fans, for everyone who believed in me enough to bring me here. I'm very happy now in Liverpool. They have made me feel like I'm home. It's amazing with the fans here. They sing songs for you in the stadium. They chant your name. Fans wear your shirt everywhere. It is beautiful. I give football my whole life, so I'm happy." I mean, there you go. That has got to put the Real Madrid shite to bed. He is not moving. He wants to stay at Liverpool because he knows that we've got the best fans in the world. Fans like you, fans like me, fans like Tom, fans like Ross. We are the best fans in the world. Mo Salah loves us and we love Mo Salah equally because he scores all the goals, which is absolutely great. Another one, Pep Lijnders has rejoined Liverpool backroom staff in a senior position. This one, he left... NEC in his homeland a few months ago now, and it was one of the worst kept secrets that Liverpool could move in for Pep Lijnders. I don't know what this means for Buvac. Doesn't seem to have been any movement on that, but I for one I'm happy that Pep Lijnders has rejoined the coaching staff, and the reason is because when he left, Jurgen Klopp was gutted about it. Jurgen Klopp wanted Pep Lijnders to stay on because he actually said, and I'll butcher the quote, I'm not going to try and do it verbatim, he actually said, like, I really want him to stay here. I didn't know I needed a new coach in my coaching staff, but he's made himself a part of the team, and I don't know whether I can continue without him. So Pep Lijnders, massively important signing for Liverpool this off-season, I'd guess. Inter, it looks like, of closing in on Bordeaux star Malcolm, so that one looks like that's going to be over. Leave us your thoughts on that in the comments section, whether you wanted Malcolm, whether you didn't, whether you asked, whether you're not, whether you've heard of him, whether you haven't. And we've been handed a boost because obviously, it's Wednesday. We need to talk about Fekir. We've got to talk about Fekir. Lyon apparently have said another Liverpool target who already plays for them actually is Houssam Aouar. He is going to be playing in Fekir's position next season. He's going to be offered a new contract, improved terms, and that could open the door to Fekir to Liverpool. Liverpool's interest exists, but now nothing is done, said the Lyon chief exec. The transfer window is long. Other clubs could show interest. Talks with Liverpool will only happen when there is an agreement with Lyon and Jean-Michel Aulas gives the green light. So there we go on that one. And an update on Alison. I'm getting bored of talking to about these guys every single day, but we have to because there has been another update. Remember we wrote last night that Alison was going to cost 80 million? Well, it's going to actually cost closer to 100 million. Ouch. That's naughty. We're going to go to some comments now anyway. I've talked for long enough. Tom, get us started, mate. I think we'll start with a guy that probably nobody knows.
Manny Loy, talking about Moses Simon, says, raw pace and good at dribbling, Klopp could mould him into an important player.
That would be great, wouldn't it? I think every Liverpool fan knows that we were struggling at the end of the season with probably a little bit of fatigue and stuff like that. It's 2 games a week and, it'd been a massively long season and we were relying massively on Salah, Mane and Firmino, as every Liverpool fan knows. So to have somebody who can come in and maybe cover a few positions, have Fekir maybe come in and cover a few positions as well, and ultimately learn off the lads who were top of the pecking order in Mane and Salah and Firmino, that would be great. And if he's young enough and he applies himself and he's got the raw materials for Jurgen Klopp to mould, he could be a very, very good signing. And I just hope that he is, to be honest with you, because I just absolutely love it if Jurgen Klopp pulled another one out. Another Andy Robertson style signing where nobody knew anything about him and then he comes in and dominates. That would be great. Like, we need the support. Let's get him in.
On the counter to that, the Turkey Fish 15 says Harry Wilson has scored more and got more assists in a third of the games in a potentially harder league. Apart from being called daddy, don't really see the benefits of signing him.
I don't really know what the benefits of signing someone with a daddy as the middle name are anyway, but you obviously do. Listen, I don't disagree with you in any way, shape or form. I think you can look at the stats of Harry Wilson and you can see that. I mean, potentially harder league. I'd guess that it is a harder league that Wilson was playing in last season. But if he doesn't have the raw materials, as I just mentioned, and Klopp knows him and wonders whether he can do it, and he's still got those doubts about him, then we should probably have those doubts too. And maybe that's a little bit unfair, but I do back Jurgen Klopp, so there we go. What's with all the numbers in the chat, Tom?
Someone probably said, type 1 for Oblak, type 2 for Alison.
It looks like Oblak's won. There you go. You could do that on the Oblak Alison comparison video Ben put out yesterday, which was belter, by the way, looking at both of them. Liam XD says, Chris, who's better, Alison or Oblak, in your opinion? I personally think Oblak is. I think he's up there with he's in the top 3 goalkeepers in the world right now. I think De Gea is number 1 for me, then probably Neuer when he's fit, and then I'd say after that it would be Oblak, and then Alison probably leads the charge for the next sort of grouping of goalkeepers. You got another comment for us, Tom?
I do.
I'm just going to find you one, Chris.
No, I've got a few, but I don't know what the defender's name's called. But Mr. Infamous says more depth in defence is always good.
Yeah. I think it depends what formation you're going to play, doesn't it? I think, you know, when you're looking at the likes of Klavan, when you're looking at the likes of Matip, when you're looking at the likes of Joe Gomez, is he going to be a centre-back? Then you've got Lovren, then you've got Van Dijk, then another lad coming through. What it says to me is that, you know, Klavan's probably only going to stay around with a rough new contract 1 year, maybe more, maximum 2, I'd guess, at his age. Are you bringing in a young lad to start competing for the future? Does Joe Gomez become one of those centre-halves? Is he going to take that step up? Is he going to be able to perform at centre-back like he was able to perform at times at right-back last season? What is the future? That's what this one would feel like to me, is that we're planning for the future. He wouldn't be a guy who comes in now, but in maybe 2 to 3 years' time, you've already got your guy used to how you're playing and he's just ready to step up, because ultimately, let's not forget, FSG's policy was that we were supposed to buy young and develop players. And listen, there's a lot of people who have bashed FSG for years, and there's a lot of people who haven't been too bothered. I don't think there was ever an FSG in movement, but people just weren't arsed because they could see improvement on the pitch, and everyone's had the wobbles now and again. But one of the things that FSG said when they came in was they wanted to develop players and they wanted to buy young and sell high, buy young and cheap and sell high. But what they haven't done is they haven't developed players. They haven't bought young players and got them into the first team. That's what we need to do, such that in a few years' time, we're not spending 50 million quid on a replacement. Where's that conveyor belt of players? We've got an academy there and we're not utilising. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, brilliant. And we've got Ben Woodburn, who was on the fringes last season. Where are the next ones of them? Can we do a little bit of what Rafa did and start buying a few people, such that in a few years' time, they get into the side and save us a few quid? That's a good business model. That's what you want to see. That's what I want to see Liverpool doing. I want to see Liverpool developing players, making them better and saving ourselves a few quid in the transfer market, so that we're not buying squad players, we're not buying average players. It means that all of our money can go on great players and improving the first team. If you've got those squad players in and around, you don't have to spend 10 million quid on a fast winger and hope that it works out, because you've already got him right and you know that he's the right type of person for the job. Have you got another one, mate?
Yeah, so on the safe standing, Terje Peterson, thank you for the super chat. He says, we have safe standing here in Norway, works well. And then kind of following on to that, JLFC says, I stand at Anfield most of the time anyway when I'm there, so I'm unsafe standing. So safe standing would be great.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing about it is give people choice of what they want. If there is a safe way to stand, then I would personally choose to stand in that safe way. But what I would be very conscious of, and this is why it's such a, and everybody knows this is why it's such a minefield to sort of navigate through, is because of Hillsborough, because of everything that's happened in the past, especially at this football club. It needs to be dealt with in a very, very, you just need to tread carefully. You absolutely have to. But Liverpool, I believe, needs to be at the forefront of these conversations, because we know what happens when it goes wrong. It wasn't the fact that, for me, that there was standing at football that caused these tragedies. It was the unsafe policing of them and the unsafe organisation of them. Because if you just had a normal amount of people in those stands, you'd have probably been okay. Do you know what I mean? And personally, I don't like standing in a seated stadium. You know, how many times I've come out with bruises all over my legs, and you've nearly fallen over chairs, and I've seen people fall over chairs celebrating goals and all that type of stuff. It's mad. It's been like 25 years that we've been sat down in a football stadium, and yet none of us like it still. Give people choice. If they don't want to stand, they don't have to. There are seats available in the stadium. You're talking about a small section of a stand. I think it's around about 3,000 people in Celtic. It might even be less, it might be 1,500. You're not talking about 100% of the stadium. Give people the choice if they want to stand. That's my personal view on it anyway. One more, Tom.
JLFC again says, great to have Pep back. I'm happy he can only make us stronger.
Yeah, hopefully. I think that's right, and I think Jurgen Klopp's happy. I am. I've heard loads and loads of good things about Pep Lijnders over the last couple of years. A little bit disappointed for him personally that he wasn't able to make a success of it over in his homeland. But you know what? If that's Liverpool's gain, I'm not that upset about it. So thank you all for joining me once again. How many people we had on the live stream today?
1348 at the moment.
That's a lot of people watching me talk live about players I don't know. I apologise. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the Redmen TV, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another chat about Alison, Cillessen, Oblak, and Fekir. Ta-ra.